Yeah, I'm surprised that's not one of Skip Bayless's theme songs. Because that's crazy. Like, why? Why did they? My man was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a no look pass to the other team." Like, fuck it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Apex Greatness. I am your host, Russell Broderick. Oh, this is a fucking guest today. This way! One of us is wrong.
Dario's
Who's
wrong.
Fuck you! This way is Dario Albuquerque. Already demonetized. Fucking off camera is the fairy pop mother Lindsay Lehman.
Hello.
What's good, everybody? How we doing?
I'm lit. I'm excited about this.
Dude, I'm very excited. So, last summer, I'm gonna do this quick, but last summer we tried to do this. We did the whole fucking thing, but we did it without the layout that you see now. Like we had changed the way we did the podcast. Yeah. In between this legacy breakdown.
Look at how
I was like, this is Michael fucking Jordan. We got to do this correctly. We got to do this right, and we're gonna do it the way we did LeBron's legacy breakdown, and we're gonna go through each season.
Didn't you lose the footage?
So, no, that was another thing that I lost the footage for. So I broke 2 hard drives on this fucking year odyssey. We're on hard drive 3, and there was other footage in that. We had a whole NFL awards thing that I lost. But anyways, let's stop talking about things that I lost. Sorry about things that we're gaining right now.
Yeah.
Which is the legacy breakdown of arguably the greatest player in the history of the NBA.
And our fans love.
Most definitely. And
we love you back.
Let me think. What are the master of the double clutch? The man with the tongue out at all times. Like this.
That sounds weird though if you don't
know
the context.
His dad, that's how his dad went to work, and that's he got it from his dad apparently. The man who in a lot of ways has a lot of sociopathic tendencies.
Which we will be addressing.
A ruthless competitor, win at all costs, the GOAT, Michael Jordan. Yep. We are going to start. Where do you guys want to start? Let's start. Lindsay, you have high school stats or no?
I think so, but they're like, I don't know how reliable the high school statistics are.
But I'll give you the quick high school synopsis. He went to Laney High School, right? He was cut from his team as a junior, pretty sure.
He was on the junior varsity that year instead of varsity or something.
So he was cut from the team for a guy named Leroy Smith.
He talks about in his Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah, and he was at his Hall of Fame speech too, which is even crazier. He and Jordan invited him to his Hall of Fame speech because the other thing I forgot to mention is the most petty superstar of all time. This is a human being where pettiness literally drove him to be the greatest at his job up to that point. Like the greatest person who did a job. He was described in The Last Dance as like the greatest person to ever have a professional job. It was really weird.
I think the words were he was the best at his job than anybody else in the world.
Yeah, that's what it was. But anyways, all while being the most petty human being on the earth. But he is
That's only awesome when you love the person. When you hate them, it's not awesome.
when
Just gotta point that out because I know there's people that probably hate Michael Jordan. It's like that guy's a effing.
So these are some of his senior numbers. 20 points. He's got a 45 point. He scored 45 out of his team's 71 total points in this game. 44 out of 88, so exactly half here. So this type of shit got him noticed by North Carolina and UNC.
Dean Smith.
And he did not start. He did not start as a freshman. That was a huge thing that Dean Smith did not name him as a starter because starters simply did not make the what do you call it? Starters, freshmen. Thank you. College. This is how little college basketball I watch. I can't even put these sentences together. Fucking freshmen were not starting back in the day. The Fab Five was a big deal later on because they were 5 freshmen starting at the same time. That had never happened before.
Yeah.
So from there, Jordan in the championship game as a freshman hits the game-winning shot and wins the national championship as a freshman.
Well, before that point,
I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible. Go ahead, cut me off wherever you.
Oh no!
No, wherever you. I'm serious.
I want to get in depth with some of the stuff because it's just there was some cool stories, especially in the Last Dance.
Okay.
Like James Worthy was his teammate.
Right. True.
And he was talking about how he was better than Jordan when he first came in, and he said that only lasted like 5 minutes or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And after they practiced with each other, and he saw Jordan's work ethic. That I'm pretty sure Dean Smith also saw that, but I think Dean Smith just had that system in place where this is how we do things here, and this is how you gotta follow the rules. And
yeah, I gotta look up what that offensive system's called, but it's very team oriented, a lot like the triangle that he's going to see later in his career.
And actually, because of that, I had a question because of Dean Smith started Jordan's, I guess, professional career or amateur going into professional career with this team-oriented kind of style. And I think that's what kind of made it harder for recruiters and stuff to notice what Michael Jordan was going into that. And I think, obviously, he worked hard to get to that point before getting to the NBA. But I just found it very interesting how we've always, even to this day, we look at Jordan as a very selfish player. And then, but like at this point, like when I'm watching the documentary, seeing him talk about his teams and stuff, like he sounds like such a team-oriented player. But we look at
no. Go ahead.
So I was just curious on what your thoughts are about that.
So I think in terms of him getting recruited, I just think that was because he only made the varsity team as a senior. So there's only so many recruiters that were going to see him. That's how I interpreted him.
In terms of the NBA, but
oh, okay, because he still was a top 5 recruit, even though he only made the team as a senior, which I thought was kind of crazy, which shows to the work. But these are a bunch of quotes from the 80s and when he was in college. And Dean Smith, he has talent. He's a very quick learner, a bright student, which he passes on to the court, and a remarkable young man who has fit in extremely well. That goes to what you were saying about James Worthy, about how he was better than Michael Jordan for about 5 minutes. That shows he was learning very quickly. He was gaining confidence, right? And then he hits that shot, right, in the national championship. No one was expecting him to be in that spot and in that position.
Yeah.
But you can tell too, because when you watch this play come out, he's in the corner over here.
Yep.
The blurry guy over here. So in this old early 80s footage. But There he is. He's just like being real quiet, and no one's got. Look at this. No one's within 10 feet of this guy. So in The Last Dance, Michael Jordan says, "No one expected me to take that shot," and I was like, I was surprised by that. But then when I watched the footage back, I was like, I guess he was right because no one's fucking anywhere near him.
Yeah, and he steps right into it and rips it.
Yeah, with 18, 17 seconds to go, bang. And that's basically
it really
the game.
does look like what the hell were they doing in that play? If you like watch that play back, like they were just passing the ball like really weirdly, and like it didn't even look like a drawn up play really. And like even the way they were playing defense was just like really dumb. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's the 80s.
Well, you're also got to look at it this way. What do we not see around the arc here? What's not here?
3-point, yeah, the 3-point line, yeah.
Yeah. So they're playing to guard the inside. It's a 2-point game.
Yeah.
So they're trying to stop layups, you know? At least that's how I'm thinking about it. If you're looking at it from an 80s perspective.
They're not illegal defense too, and 3-second call. Like that dude in the middle was in I'm not gonna analyze
Yeah, I was about to say I don't know really
Ooh,
rules like that to give you
in
an
one
answer.
of my notebooks that's behind Russell, I wrote down when all of those things came in. So but I don't have them for the NCAA. Never mind. But I have them for the NBA.
It's like thanks. It's like, gee, thanks for
absolutely nothing.
thanks
I'm
for
so
fucking
hurtful.
nothing.
I'm so good.
We good.
That was good shit. But yeah, they just totally forget about him for whatever reason. So even though I was surprised to hear that he thought that no one expected him to take it, I guess he's right because, like I said, he was super wide open. So that, and then they throw the ball away, just totally choke.
Yeah, like that dude was super. He was a little bitch. Like,
I want to run that back one more time. Watch this. This guy. How does this not get talked about more? And the very next play, Michael Jordan, because he just stole their confidence so bad, they immediately choke away the game. They don't even do it. Look at this. Just throws the ball away. Threw the wrong guy. There's no one near this guy. Oh my God. There's no one near this guy. There's no one here.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's not one of Skip Bayless's theme songs. Because that's crazy. Like, why did they? My man was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a no look pass to the other team." Like, fuck it.
Yo, that was funny. I've never heard anyone talk about that, and that's such an easy thing to beef up Michael Jordan's legacy. Destroyed their confidence so much that the guy just threw the ball away, absolutely choked, completely ruined the whole game for his team. Oh man, that's funny. But he'd go on to win a litany of awards. He was named the #1 male athlete in ACC history. I don't know when that came out. I'll get the year. It'll be on your screen.
Yeah, I think it might have been his second or third year. Might have been his third.
No, but I'm saying I know when he won the National Player of the Year. He won the National Player of the Year in his sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
And his junior year, because he only played 3 years in college.
Oh, so he won it both. Okay.
And he's got to be on a really short list of guys that have won it twice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I was thinking when the #1 male athlete in ACC history was announced. I'll look it up. It'll be on your screen. But he holds a bunch of records. Most points by a sophomore in North Carolina history. He led North Carolina in points and steals in his sophomore and junior season. Yeah. He was planning to come back for his senior year, right? Yep. He's planning to come back for his senior year, and he meets with Dean Smith like an hour to an hour and a half before he's going to make this decision. And Dean Smith says to him, "You have a shot to be the #1 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
And you need to take that for your family. You never know what you could play your senior year and break your fucking leg, and then you have nothing." Which is really crazy because if he had stayed the extra year, think about what happened with his foot.
Yeah.
You know, it might have really fucked it. It could have. I'm not saying the same, you know.
Well, I mean, he played a whole season in the NBA, and he played a full, I think, 82 games. So he
but that would have been his senior year. That would if that rookie year would have ended up being his senior year in college had he stayed.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, he would have played significantly less games.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
50 less games. Or something
That's true. What were you gonna say before that?
like that. No, I was gonna say like Dean Smith doing that is like super dope, especially at that time. Like, there's no there's no reason for him to want to do that. Like, college basketball is a huge thing still. Like, at that point, and like
And
I'm sure he's making them super famous too. Like, with how because he was a. I mean, his name didn't become as big as it was once he did after this draft, but
yeah,
he was still a pretty big name. People liked him and know him, and I
right.
think people will follow on the team because of him.
That's what I was gonna say to you is that he absolutely needed Michael Jordan at that point to make like I'm sure he really wanted Michael Jordan to maintain success,
Yeah,
right? And what do you call it? He won. Dean Smith won his first championship because of that shot we just showed from
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, right? He would go on to win championships in years after this point, but to your point, it does show selflessness from Dean Smith.
yeah. for
I
sure.
get what you're saying, but Michael Jordan gets drafted. Akeem Olajuwon goes first,
Yep.
right?
Which he would have. I think we've said this multiple times too, but he would have been drafted first no matter what. Even the Bulls said that if at the time, if they were drafted first, they would have picked Akeem.
And it's insane
Which is
because
not bad. He won 2 chips.
well,
2
this is what I'm saying. No, Akeem is so great as a player that no one ever looks at Akeem Olajuwon's career and goes, "I guess that's fine. I understand why you didn't take him instead of Michael fucking Jordan." Like,
Yeah.
you know how upper echelon of career you have to have for that to be said?
Yeah.
Like if you took, I'm
went to the
picking a
finals.
guy. I'm trying to think of guys later. Like if Paul Pierce was taken above Michael Jordan,
Oh yeah.
but no, Akeem Olajuwon, right? Akeem Olajuwon was first. What do you call it?
Yeah,
Sam Bowie for Portland was second. Now this is one of my favorite quotes of all time, right? Bob Knight, who had played against MJ in college, right? Or coached against MJ in college. He was
Yeah.
the coach at Indiana. He called the people at Portland because Portland was like, well, we already have Clyde Drexler, right?
Mhm.
And Bob Knight goes, where do you guys need where do you guys need help? And
Yeah.
Portland was like center. And he goes, play Jordan at center. He goes, he's the best player I've ever seen, I've ever coached against, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you've ever go ahead.
No, I just wanted to just like to counter that. So we gotta remember at the time, and throughout the first like 8 years of their career too, they're kind of compared Drexler and Jordan.
Yeah.
So they could be looking at it as we got this guy, he's pretty good already. We don't need another guy like him.
Yeah.
And I could totally understand the mindset of it all, and I feel like this is like probably the beginning of an era where people just take the best player, at least hopefully they start taking the best player available instead of who they need, because that's just fucking stupid. But keep on, my bad.
But Portland takes Sam Bowie, right? Sam Bowie had just came off like a broken leg. There's a whole 30 for 30 on it. That was really, really good. He came off a broken leg. He played for Kentucky and he was good when he was healthy, but he never got back to being healthy, right?
Yeah.
And then the Bulls take Michael Jordan at number 3. Now, normally I show the draft highlights, right? We're looking at the draft highlights. We're looking at Michael Jordan coming to the stage, shaking David Stern's hand. But there's no footage of that. Michael Jordan wasn't at the draft. Charles Barkley was there. Hakeem was there. I think Stockton was there. But these are all guys part of that famous 84 draft. But Michael Jordan was not there. You know why?
Why?
The 1984 Olympics. So MJ skipped the '84 draft to train for the Olympics, right?
Some cocky shit. Like, I know I'm gonna get drafted already. Whoever the hell gets me, whatever. But
I want to play for the Olympics. Now, the what do you call it? There were exhibition plays. There were exhibition games before the Olympics to get the Olympic team warmed up, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to show the. So this is the Olympic team starting five. You got Michael Jordan in there, Sam Perkins.
Yeah.
He had a really long career. Patrick Ewing, of course. There's there's Chris Mullins also on this team. There's a few other NBA studs on this Olympic roster. You got Alex English, Larry Nance, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. I don't know who the fuck Davis is. It's actually making me mad. I can't think of who Davis is. It'll be above one of our heads. But he comes out and shreds them on television, right? Because people watched this fucking game. There were very few channels. There were way less channels back then.
Yeah.
So, he comes out and he just starts fucking like dunking on everybody and playing super hard. He's number 9.
Yeah.
And he got over.
That is there right there with number 10.
I think so. Or no, he's 11. Isaiah's 11, little guy.
Right.
But Jordan, this was after the NBA draft. I'll state that again. Because if this shit had happened before the draft,
yeah, that's what the GM said. They said, luckily this happened after the draft and not before, because he would have probably been taken number 1.
He probably would have been taken over Hakeem.
Yeah.
But yeah, he flashed his hyper athleticism. He was all over the place.
Because he was different. Like there was not an architect really of this type. Like you always say, like he's kind of the beginning of that architect.
So so here's how I trace this. This is how I trace him. And this is the closest way to do it. Elgin Baylor, right? After Elgin Baylor is Dr. J.
Yep.
Comes after him. And then Dr. J it's really David Thompson and Dr. J create Michael Jordan. David Thompson was the guy who inducted Jordan into the Hall of Fame. And everyone was like, why David Thompson, whatever. But David Thompson was Michael Jordan's favorite player. He hated UNC growing up, whatever. But
I've never like really heard of him talking about Dr. J though. Like that's the only thing that kind of
that's why
I definitely see the comparisons there. But
well, that's why I say David Thompson, because David Thompson was right in this era of time also, and he was playing in the NBA the whole time where Dr. J was in the ABA for a little bit of that, less television exposure, whatever. But their games are similar in terms of the number one thing is their athleticism, their hang time, their ability to blow by defenders, get to the basket, and dunk, finish or kick out, right? Yeah. Like that.
And athleticism, especially at this point, is crazy. I believe during this not this scrimmage, but like his run in USA, he actually hits his head on the backboard trying to block someone.
Yeah, that'll be understood.
People do that now, and they still get praised for it. So like that's how you know like he was crazy athletic. You know?
But he's on all his jump shots.
But Giannis is 7 foot. You know, like Jordan's 6'6". Like,
but
at this time 6'5". My bad.
Young Michael Jordan. The first thing that jumps off your screen every time you watch young MJ is the fucking hang time.
Yeah.
On jump shots, he hangs longer than everybody. And it's so effortless. He makes it look so effortless.
And not because this is going to be later, but just to add to like that the game winner he hits on Cleveland. He was in the air for like 15 seconds. In my mind, I'm like, yo, you see him do the crazy shit. Yeah.
But that's why I called him at the beginning the master of the double clutch, because that's the first thing that you see that stands out of his game that he does different or better than everybody else in history is his ability to double clutch with the ball. And that's what he took directly from, and that's the transition directly from Dr. J.
If there was like
MJ?
a bubble in my head that you can just like write something, and Dario at this point,
It's just you thinking about Kobe.
Yeah. Thank you. At least that's how you know Rossi just knows what I'm about to say, because I'm just like, oh, I mean, if you want to say that, whatever.
I mean, yeah, because Kobe was like 5 years old at this point, so I'm not thinking about him yet.
No, you just said in NBA history, so that's why.
Well, like, yeah.
I
True.
always gotta get back to. I don't have to do that. I got my Laker bias here. I probably shouldn't. I'm gonna
But
rely.
I'm thinking. Well, I'll put it this way. To this point,
No, yeah,
better?
no, I'm not gonna make it. Come on, Michael.
but he shines in these games. He shines in the Olympics, right? And that is the precursor for his rookie season.